gays. Can't even say that, bro. But fuck it, man. It's like 9 in the morning. In Australia, for any of my niggas out there. Shit, but I don't know, just gotta get to it, man. Nah, look at the sun though, like, look how beautiful that shit is, like, that shit radiating, man. It just make you appreciate, like, God type shit, man. Fuck, man. One thing they don't tell you, I can't even talk right now, shit. It is so cold, it is so fucking cold. Like, real shit is cold. Just trying to give myself time to think, cause there's really no script for this, really just ad-lib and just like what's coming off the top of my head, really. But yeah, it was time to get the ball. I fucked it up already, shit. I found it. Way too many fuck-ups in that one sentence, I can't lie to you, but it's time to let the ball start rolling, you know. Fuck. All my life, I was pretty scared to be in front of cameras. You can talk to my parents, you can talk to like my brother, you can talk to my cousins and, you know, my friends and shit. I always hated being in front of cameras. It just wasn't very pleasant for me. I was very insecure about the way I looked and about the way, I guess, I thought people would view me. But it was time, you know, like, fuck it. It was time to push forward. You know, one thing they didn't tell you is how difficult it is to get this, like, camera set up. You know, it took me a while, you know, but shit, I got to work in there. But, you know, I've been going through a turbulent time. You know, I don't want to put this on the camera, but, you know, I had, like, a very close person pass about, like, a week or two ago, about a week and a half. And it really just had me thinking, like, is there really a right way to think about death, in a sense? You know, I've really been struggling with, like, seeing people grieve and shit. Because me personally, I've come to an acceptance of it, you know. I'm a firm believer in God, a firm believer in Christ. And it really helped me to get through it, but seeing other people is very difficult in my eyes. It's very difficult to see people cry, see people, like, grieve and go through the process, you know. When you're, like, at the 6th or 7th stage and see people at stage 1 or stage 2 is really, like, demoralizing and very hard, you know. But what my personal takeaway from it is, you know, my friend, my close friend, my cousin, he passed. His name is, his nickname is Dottie, right? He was a very special person indeed. He had the ability to touch souls. Like, he very reminded me of Capital Steez, for y'all niggas tapped into shit back then, you know, like 2013, 2014 days. I think it might be 2011, 2012, like Pro Era days. Yeah, he reminded me of him. Like, just a goalpost. I mean, just someone who can move the goalpost, you know. Fuck. Coming from where I come from, it's not really much of a struggle. You know, Australia's a really nice place. Can't even lie. I have a lot of, like, nice things and, what's the word I'm trying to find? Trying to find it is very difficult, you know, because I'm processing so much at the same time. But trying to find the word. Yeah, you're right. Advantages. I had a lot of advantages. Advantages is being here and not having to worry about the struggle, like, you know, niggas living in, like, the UK or America, or even niggas in Australia who are living in, like, a real bad spot. But it comes down to the mentality, you know. I don't know why, but in a lot of places you go, the hood type of mentality really follows, you know. I done seen a lot of shit. You know, a lot of niggas. I've seen niggas die. You know, that's not my eyes, but people pass away from a lot of shit that shouldn't really happen in real life. You know, I've had people pass away from cancer. You know, my late uncle, rest in peace. You know, I've had grandparents pass. Rest in peace both my grandmothers, who I was at least fortunate to see. You know, my parents took me over to see them. And another very close cousin who passed away, he was stabbed. It's not a way to go out, in all honesty. But yeah, just a lot of struggle in a place I don't think that should be. And you know, I just really think, is there really a right way to deal with it? You know, a lot of people come up to you, they say condolences, which is the right thing. I respect saying condolences. I say that all the time. But there's a lot of people saying sorry for your loss, and like a lot of people trying to comfort you, but it's very hard. It's very hard, you know, the way I see it. But my takeaway from it is Dottie, person who I knew for a very long time. A very, 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 very long time. Just him, like the type of person he was, the person who could move people around, you know, just like a voice. When he was there, when you heard him speak, everyone stayed silent. He was one of those niggas where like everyone tapped in, everyone paid attention, you know. And he was one of the most genuine people I ever met too. You know, no matter who you were, who you are, what position you're in, what age, young, old, fucking, you could be halfway across the world, and he would just listen to you like you were brothers. Like, he'll listen to you like he's known you all your life. He wouldn't judge you initially. He'll talk to you like man to man or man to woman. He was one of those type of people, and I very much I want to embody that. And I guess my takeaway from how you can deal with death is not to use it as an excuse. I've seen a lot of people use death as an excuse to, I guess, be lazy or to fall back. It's okay to cry, you know. It's okay to be a man and cry. All men can cry. I don't know who tells you not to, but it's okay to let it out, to grieve. But it's bad to let it be an excuse, you know, to hold it, to try and say, you know, let me do all this and the third, let me drink for him, let me smoke for him, let me waste my time for him. Like, he wouldn't want that. And any person that's ever died and is very meaningful to you doesn't want you to waste your life away and use them as an excuse, you know. Always keep that person in memory, but don't let that memory be the reason why you don't want to move forward. You know, the way I see it is, I use it as a reason to move forward. You know, it was a very close person, and in that sense, I'm using him as a reason to really like step on my game. Shit, I was really scared to be in front of cameras, man. Really scared. And in the back of my mind, I always had this content creation stuff in my head. You know, I'm in school right now at uni. I'm doing my second year of civil engineering, but I always had in mind that I wanted to do something creative as an output. You know, I always liked doing creative shit as a kid. You know, I liked drawing. I liked fucking skating. Skating's fun as shit. Yeah, it's real dope. I liked basketball. I just liked shit where it's like you could use your own way to interpret this form of art. And you know, I never fully went through with it. I'd always do something, get caught up in it, and be like, damn, I'm not that good at it. Fuck it. Let me leave and let me do something else. You know, and it kept happening. I couldn't like fully stick with it. So I just be content with things that I was decent to. I guess I saw I was good at. You know, I didn't really want to push myself forward, but after these passing, I'm like, this is a reason for me to step up, you know. Even if I was to do all this shit and I don't succeed, I don't find what I need, like, I mean, not what I need. Yeah. If I do all this shit and, you know, I don't find the success, I don't find the fame, or I don't find what I want, you know, I feel like this shit will give me what I need, you know. I feel like this is a confidence gain. and being able to move forward, I want to use this shit as to push myself forward. I'm a very shy and reserved person, so I want to use this as a reason for me to go out there and actually like use my camera, use my connections to people and use my abilities that I was too scared to use. So in that right way, I feel like that's how I can deal with death. Using it as a reason to move forward. Always holding those people close to your heart, close to your mind. Keeping God in mind always, but also like not to dwell on it and stick on it too much. I want to be more like I'm doing this because of Dottie, not I'm kicking back because my close friend passed away. You always got to move forward. Life always has to progress. So in that sense, I want to use his name as a reason for me to move forward and do stuff in my life that I initially didn't want to, because life isn't so long. People will tell you, you're going to live to you like 70, 80, 90, but nah, this shit's short. I've seen people pass away in the most random ways, slowly or fast. It's crazy, and you never truly know how to feel about it until you first experience it. Death is something always in the back of your head. You're always thinking, I'm gonna die one day, and it's the reason why a lot of people do the stuff that they do. They do a lot of the crazy shit, or they're really reserved and stay in the house in their room. But life is something to experience. It's not something to take for granted, most definitely. And I'm a victim of that too, taking life for granted. Always wishing that I have the next man shit. Always wanting what another person wants. But nah, that's not really right, man. That's not really right. You gotta experience life. And it's not the race that you think it is. You don't have to experience what everyone else is experiencing, but experience what you think is the fullest. So whether you think that's like sitting in your room and reading books, or fucking going outside skating, or turning on your camera like me, it's just one step forward, one push, just moving. That's all you gotta do. Just move. The man that walks will eventually find his destination. The man who enjoys the walking will far exceed the man who enjoys the destination. So, as I want to start my career in this shit, I have another YouTube channel too, where I'm doing more editing and shit, and I want to use this channel as more IRL content, speaking face to face, or having like behind the scenes footage of what my friends and shit do, or just sharing like random shit on my day to day. I want to use this account for that, especially since like I want to produce more high quality content. So when I'm taking like a hiatus, like a week or 2 weeks to produce a video, I want to use like this account to be like semi-consistent, every few days or so, just be able to talk about a random topic and, just show, well, Melbourne for one, like not too many niggas know about Melbourne, and two, to just show like anything really. Just like my main goal with this shit is, everyone wants to push a message, an agenda. I just want to push positivity and God. So it's whether I touch one person, 100, maybe like 1,000, stretching it. I don't think I'm gonna reach 1,000, but fuck, even further than that. That's one more than zero. That's one more than I could do face to face. That's one more than I can do from the person I used to be, from the shy person. It's one more showing me that I'm moving forward, but also that seeing other people just like be like, hey man, you open my eyes is just a very cool thing to think about. And I guess that's the way I'm taking it. The same way I'm inspired by Bruce, or the same way I'm inspired by like Tyler the Creator. I'll look you want to talk about my inspirations soon. I feel like tomorrow I might drop a video on Tyler. He's very inspirational to my life. But just that type of shit, just share it, because why not? And if one person picks up on that message, well, shit, that's cool as fuck. And if I can build a community off this shit, hey man, that's even cool. That's way cooler. That's dope as fuck. So, as I try to build myself in this game, and whether I'm like a small time or a big time creator, I definitely want to keep to my roots and always go back to this video as the first day I really put my face on camera and the first day I really put myself on the internet, because I never really do this shit, you know. So knowing that he is the reason that pushed me forward to do this shit, that's my take on death. You know, just finding a way to progress, because that's all you can really do in life. Move forward. You know, you can't stay stagnant. Staying stagnant is the worst thing ever. The world's never gonna stop for you. And there's so many topics and so much shit I just want to yap about, just talk on my ass, you know, just go to different locations and just talk and have a personal experience, because I feel like these type of personal experiences is really what, you know, builds not a community, but also just builds like your foundations and your roots, you know. When you become bigger and become disillusioned to where you came from or where you began, you know, and just going back to little shit like this to show you, my nigga, this is where you started, is the coolest shit to me, man. But that's all I can muster out for now. You know, it's my first time doing this, and I'm mostly ad-libbing. I'm not having a script or anything. So I'm very much appreciative for those who watch this and for the journey that I'll take. Well, shit, we'll see where that takes us, man. All you just gotta do is keep God in mind as He walks with us every footstep, you know, and keep family and friends and where I was raised, and not only where I was raised, but where my culture relies and where my culture stays from. South Sudan. Thank you, man.